What's up, guys? It's Beats for Vita coming at you with my first tutorial video. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these. Right now I'm going to show you guys how to do like a simple trap beat. Very simple. I'm going to use a sample, maybe add a little melody on top of it, and yeah, let's get right into it. If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. It's definitely the start of a long journey. If you guys want me to do certain artist type beats, or if you guys want to see like how I made certain beats that I've made, just, comment in the video, and yeah, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. But yeah, I've been making beats for 2 years, give or take. Started my Instagram about a year ago, and that kind of took off. And yeah, and I kind of always wanted to do some of these videos because I've always watched these type of videos. So this is definitely going to be a rough start, but I hope as I do more of them, I get better with pronunciation and talking into a microphone and editing my videos. So shout out to everyone who's rocking with me. Let's get right into it. Yeah, let's start with a somatic sample. Let's see. They have a whole bunch on their page, just somatics.com, and they have a whole bunch of free ones. Some of them are very cheap. That's pretty fire. I'm kind of rocking with that. It's kind of funny as I go through these. I've used a good amount of these samples for previous beats, so if you guys are familiar with my work, you might hear some of the melodies I'm rocking with in this. But let's do this. It's at 90 BPM, so we'll set our tempo to 90 BPM. 4 bars long. If you want, you can do 180. So I'll do this, and then now it's 8 bars. So if you want your drums a little faster, it all depends on your take, but we'll go by the sample. It's in E minor to make our first pattern. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of my drums on one pattern, then I'll separate them after into separate patterns. So by the end I should have 5-6 patterns of different instruments, but this is kind of just to get me going on my ideas, and then I'll arrange everything. But we're going to make it really simple, not go too crazy. We're going to go with, I use this little kit right here, Peejay Volume 1. Honestly, it's like my first kit I downloaded, so shout out to Peejay. Really came through for the boy one time. Let's do a clap. Very popular in the trap beats. We'll go like this. Control, left click to select, right? And then you can press shift, you can hold down shift and the left click, and you can kind of drag it, or you can press Control B, and whatever you highlighted will kind of just go like that. So we'll just work with 8 bars for now. Obviously to take that out, I pressed Control X, right? Cancel out. To bring it back, if you messed up, if you want to do like an undo, you press Control Z. You can also do all that right here as well. Copy, paste, kind of shows you all the shortcuts right here. Redo, paste, Control Z is what I just did. And we'll start with a little clap. Clap. We'll delete these for now. It's kind of like the template they give you when you start. You can change that in your options. And for 90 BPM, it's gonna go like this. Every first red. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. If your BPM's a little faster, you're gonna go like right here. You're gonna go every other one, your 3rd and 7, or 3rd and 6. Wait, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 3rd and 7. But obviously, I'll play it out. I'll show you how it sounds. It's a little late, right? So if you go right here to every one of these, and it's a little loud, so I'm gonna put this. You can do it this way. You can do it in your step sequencer. Move it to track 1, and I like to EQ it. Go over here, go to filter, parametric EQ. To start, I'm just going to put the volume down a little bit. cycling these to change the steep, because if you don't change it, let's see, I'll reset it. If you don't change it, I'll kind of have okay, fuck that. Go to default. It kind of has like this like curve to it. I like mine a little more steep. You can change the steep. We'll do 6, I guess, for the purpose of the video. But yeah, if you go steep 8, it's a little more sharper than that. I like to move my my sub, my first one. I like to move it in this area, depending on the sample. You know, all samples are going to sound different. They're going to be in different frequencies, but my 808 and my kick are going to be right here. So like I like those to punch through the mix. So I'll kind of move this right here. And I'll show you where the clap will go underneath here. It's right here, so everything should have its own pocket. Right? Second, we'll do the hi-hats. And put this to 3, and it's going to be usually the simple ones. Fill each 2 steps. That's kind of how you're going to go about that, and it's just going to sound super simple, but you're gonna definitely notice it. You can just play around with it, see what you like. I think I'm actually going to stick with this. Right there to zoom in, I've been pressing Control, right click. You can get really in there. If you just press Control without doing anything, I call Control, right click, it'll bring you back to regular view. I'm going to zoom in right here. Have one of those. Maybe one right here. Simple with it. And yeah, I'll do my 808 as well. Right, and your 808's got to be in key first and foremost, or else they're gonna be super whacked out. See, I know these are in C, but I'll show you a way to know what tune your 808's in. So you can go here, click on it. But since I know it's C, right? C. But if I didn't and just said ape, just said backwards or death wish, I didn't come up with this, of course. I already told you it's a kit I got. You edit an audio editor, right? This is Edison. You can also go here for that. You can go right here, click on this. Left click, and then you can press detect pitch regions, as it says right here. It's in C, so now we know that. And yeah, let's go put ape shit in there. Already in there. Make sure it's on cut itself, so then that it doesn't muddle or sound weird when a couple of them are playing in the same frequency or right behind each other. It'll be really muddled. We start with that first step. Just play around with it. There we go. We got a little rhythm there. What I like to do is this. Right clicking will also delete things if you just right click them. So I'm gonna hold it. Click on them, or else they do that weird thing. Stretch this. Control click. Control click will highlight. Control click. Control B. Now I paste that over. I'll go to my piano roll, and I'll highlight all this. And I'll show you another trick. I'll do Shift, hold Shift, left click, and drag it. So now I'm back in here. Oh, it's back where it is. And back to I'm saying, you need them to be in tune, in key, so it sounds right. Thankfully, Fruity Loops has a cool little niche in here. You can press this. You can go to helpers, scale highlighting, left click. What was it? E? Double check E minor. Helpers, E minor. You can honestly pick any of them. They'll have a different couple keys, but usually this is the go-to minor natural Aeolian right here. You can see I'm in key right here, but if you want to play around with it, I like to do I'll do some of this, and then we'll bring this up. I already know how, I think I already have a feeling of how that's going to sound, but we'll listen to it. You already get a feel of how it's going. Make sure everything's on the mixer. We'll go to 4. This is what I like to do with my 808s. Bring them down a little bit. Put an EQ, and I'll also put a soft clipper. Because if I don't put the soft clipper on, I'll show you. I'll mute that, and I start playing with this. As I moved the bass up, it started going over 0. You never want your sound to go above 0, or else it'll start like distorting. Like if you play it in your car after you're like, yo, this is a dope mix, and then you put it in your car, your speakers are gonna hate you so much, you know. But I know a couple of producers that go about mixing a little differently, and some of them like when it goes over 0, you know, because it adds that little bit of distortion and makes the 808 shake the trunk. Some people like that, so you'll find your own way of making music. Not a big fan of that. I like when my 808s are loud, thumpy, but they're not distorting. So what you do is when I turn this soft clipper on, it's under that 0. So now I tune my bass up. I'll put my sub a little bit closer to it, maybe a little less. Right, it sounds beautiful. Now, literally, I have 8 bars, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you can do this little trick. I like to do this sometimes. Put a little break. Now the hi-hat and snare are lined up. So now that's just fire right there, you know? I actually heard another note I'm gonna put right in here. Like right here, I think. I'm gonna put it right here, and then I'm also gonna just put it at G. Crazy with it, just like you can get crazy with the hi-hats and stuff. But right there I have 8 bars right there, you know, so I can control B. So now we have a hook, right? That's our hook. That's the main squeeze of the beat. And when I first started and I was just using samples, I found an issue. If I just kept playing the hook, essentially, right, like for 64 bars, there's no change, right? I can take stuff, like I had to figure out how to make a way to make sure that you know the hook from the verse, and that your verse is a certain amount of bars differentiated from your hook. And obviously you can do whatever you want to do to make sure that it's unique to you. You know, maybe if you want to do like an 8-bar verse and the other 8 bars of the verse are the hook, you can do that. The only thing is if you have the same amount of sounds going out, it's going to be hard to differentiate. You got to use some transitions, or you're going to have to make another melody on top, which maybe I'll do in a second part of the video if you guys want that. But strictly, I'm just going to do a hook, a verse, and I'll bring it back to the hook. And then that way, you know. So what I like to do is I'll have the snare go, right? Snare. Now I have a 16 bar verse, which I like to do. I like to do about 16 bar verses if I'm actually working with the artist and he tells me what he or she tells me what their verse is going to be, and it has to be a little longer, you know, you make it a little longer. But what I like to do is I'll have it like this. So then now when it goes here, right? And then for the second, actually for a little portion of it, actually what I'll do is I'll keep that and I'll do it over here. Let the 808 play for a little bit, and maybe I'll let the snare play for just a second, and then I'll bring the hi-hats back in. So then now you have your hi-hats back in. Once again, this is going to sound like the hook. This is literally going to sound like the hook, but the hook actually comes in right here. This is the hook. So I'll highlight this right here. I'll zoom in and I'll kind of do one of these, right? So now there's your hook right there. Let's give it some more time. Also, it's cool because for the artist, you know, they have a dope bar right here, like a dope line. When you know sometimes when you sing that fire line with the no beat and then the beat comes in with the drop, it's like, damn, that was hot. So I like to do that. We'll make this do that same thing again. To make sure if you're like changing up crazy patterns in your hook, I like to do this. Like if I was being lazy and I didn't want to do this, I can just control this. Shift, hold, bring it over here, and now I have that drop again in the middle of the hook. Also, if you want to do it, you can go crazy in here. But yeah, so now I have my hook, my verse, and my hook. And then in my second verse, what I would probably do is I'd probably have the hi-hats play. And if I had another kick, I would make sure the 808 comes in right here, you know? So like the second half of the verse, the 808 comes in. And that way you kind of know, all right, the hook's here, the verse is here, and you can differentiate it. It's super easier because you can go, wow, like if I had a second melody like somewhere down here, which we'll do in the second part of the video, if I had a melody right here, you know, the melody is going to play on the hook. And then I can go crazy with my drums. I can use all the drums, add drums, and then you know it's the verse because there's no melody there. But when the second hook comes back in, you know that's the hook because you have that melody again. So that's the issue is that some people debate like, oh, you shouldn't be using samples. It's hard to only use sample because you have to find another sample that corresponds with this one, which can be difficult. You'd have to have the ear for it, and you'd have to listen to countless samples, pitch them, you know, change the pitches so that they correspond, and it's hard for a beginner. So in my second part of the video, I'm going to have another melody down here. I'll make one and I'll show you how that works. But essentially this is what I have right here. I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to add a crash, which also will help in your transitions because then you'll know. Watch, I'll show you. So what I like to do is I double click it. I'll turn the volume down a little bit so it's not destroying my ear, and then I'll reverse it. You do a little bit of this, and I'll line them up right here. Right, so it kind of transitions into the verse. Now you know you're moving. It's like your beat kind of has to have movement so that your listener knows where it's going. You know, people like predictability, and then there's that other sense of unpredictability, which is like crazy. So you got to mix both of them to keep your listener on their toes and happy that they're listening to it. So right here, we're still in the verse, and it's the same essence of the hook, but now you can go crazy right here. You can go like this. You can Make sure that 808 don't come in right there. And you can do one of these. You can go crazy with it. If you want to go super complex, you can even do one of these. We'll chop this up. I went to this chop tool, chop it right here, and move this away, make it smaller, and we can even play around with this, you know, like. Just play around with it. Preferably I want it right after the snare. Play around with it. Like, no one expects you to know, like, snap it right there, put it right there. You know, it's trial and error at some point. But what I'm gonna do for the last part of this video, I'm gonna go like this, control all of it, and I'm gonna move it 4 bars. Use this as an intro. If you want, you can even reverse it. Double click on this one. Actually, if you reverse it, I'll show you what happens. It reverses all of them. So you can double click on the top left, make unique. Now this is different from all of them, so now when I reverse this one, only this one reverses, right? So see how it sounds reversed. It might not even sound well. I didn't even try it. Right? Kind of sounds good. I'll keep it. And what I like to do is I'll put my little tag in there. Put it down so it kind of mixes in well and it's not blaring in our ears. I like to move it right here on the line so I can have optimal, like, space. Oh. Right, I'm doing it so if I just left click and move, it's very snappy and like very gritty. So, but if you press Control, if you hold Alt and then drag it, you kind of have like more space to like fine tune it. For the sake, I don't have, you know, we're just gonna control it. Oh my god. And we can play around with that. We'll see how that sounds. You see what I'm saying? So if I just hold it, it's gonna go over where I want it to go. I want it to go right here. But if I press Control, why do I keep saying that? If I press Alt, if I hold Alt, then I can kind of slide it more precisely. And now we'll see how this goes. Make sure see this is over. Boop. Alt. This one over. Oh, Hans online.
Beats for Buddha.
That's actually fire, to be honest. Yo. Get the gist. But yeah, what I would do is, truthfully, I would make sure everything's mixed right. So I'm gonna hop into the middle of this. Make sure everything's leveled. Your clap or snare should be the loudest thing on your drum so people can get that rhythm. I'm gonna add some reverb too, which comes with Fruity Loops, and make the size a little bigger. But they're tweaking in the background. I don't know what they're saying. That's actually super heat. So in the second part of the video, I'll add a melody to this. Let me know what you guys think about it. Like and comment, subscribe if you guys like the video. I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much.